Why Jin and Jungkook sound so different even when they sing the same notes. Most armies can easily tell Jin and Jungkook vocals apart. Their voice colors are simply different, but there are certain moments that can be surprisingly deceptive, especially high ad-libs and sirens. One example is the opening ad-lib in Like Animals, which many listeners have mistaken for Jin when it is actually Jungkook. So what makes that moment sound so different from Jungkook's voice, which we usually recognize? And what does it reveal about the difference between these two members? The two can meet on similar notes, yet the sound that reaches you can feel completely different. That is what makes this comparison fascinating. We are not asking who is the better singer. We are listening for the fingerprints in their voices, the color, the resonance, the way each singer shapes a note, and why Jungkook can sound so unmistakably himself when the music gets stripped away. Jin has one of the recognizable vocal colors in BTS. His voice can sound soft and almost youthful in one moment, then open into a powerful, ringing high note in the next. A Weaver's magazine analysis described his vocals as both boyish and mature, noting his soft tone, forceful high notes, and a slight nasal quality that adds character. That combination gives Jin an identifiable emotional texture. His voice can feel like it is telling you the emotion before you even think about technique. Jungkook's voice has a different kind of identity. It is often smoother at the edges, with a clean contemporary pop quality that lets him move between soft and powerful sounds without making the transition feel dramatic. A professional analysis of his vocals has highlighted his detailed breathing, subtle vibrato, and ability to connect registers with a legato quality. That helps explain why his singing can feel effortless even when the musical demands are anything but easy. And this is where the comparison becomes especially interesting. Jin often makes a high note feel like an event. The tone opens up, the emotion becomes larger, and you can hear the character of his voice immediately. Jungkook often approaches the same kind of moment differently. Instead of making the transition obvious, he can smooth the edges until the note seems to arrive naturally. It is still powerful. It is a different kind of control, making difficult singing sound almost deceptively easy. There is professional praise that helps put this difference into perspective. Opera singer and Grammy voting member Im Hung-roo has described Jin's voice in terms of stable breath control, a strong falsetto, natural vibrato, and the ability to move between chest and head voice. Those qualities fit what you can hear in Jin's strongest live moments, a voice with a clear signature and a strong center. His sound does not disappear inside the arrangement, it announces itself. Jungkook has received striking praise from people who have worked with him in the studio. Grammy-winning producer Nitti, who worked on BTS's Erarong, recently said Jungkook's live voice was what impressed him most, even describing his studio singing as amazing. Nitti also praised how quickly Jungkook understood direction and delivered what was asked. Great live singing is not only about reaching a note, it is also about hearing an idea, controlling the voice, and delivering it under pressure. Diplo offered another revealing observation. After working with BTS on Erarong, he singled out Jungkook's voice and said he did not need auto-tune, calling it a perfect voice. That praise points towards something many listeners notice in Jungkook's live singing, the remarkable clarity and consistency of his pitch and tone. When the production becomes lighter, there is less for the ear to hide behind, and his vocal control becomes much easier to hear. Tyler Spry, a composer on BTS's Erarong title track, Swim, also praised Jungkook's singing, emphasizing his pitch accuracy and the way he delivered the melody without relying on pitch correction. The point is not to turn one producer's compliment into a technical ranking. It is to recognize a pattern in what professionals notice. Jungkook can hear, process, and execute vocal ideas with precision, and that precision becomes especially clear when his voice is exposed. But if we only talk about Jungkook's accuracy, we miss what makes his voice special. His greatest advantage may be the way control and expression coexist. Listen to the small details, the softness at the beginning of a phrase, the way he releases a note, the tiny changes in breath, and the way an ad-lib can suddenly become emotional without sounding forced. Those details are why his live performances can feel intimate even in a huge stadium. The power is there, but it is not the whole story. This is also why Jungkook can sound so different from Jin even when they sing similar notes. A note is only its pitch. The singer decides what happens around it, how much air enters the sound, how the vowel is shaped, how quickly the voice changes intensity, and how the note is released. Jin and Jungkook make different choices. Jin's sound can feel more immediate and ringing. Jungkook often creates a smoother, more continuous line. Your ear hears those choices before your brain names them. And sometimes, those differences almost disappear. When Jin and Jungkook sing together, their voices can lock into a blend that is bigger than either one alone. Jin can add brightness, emotional weight, and a distinctive edge, while Jungkook can connect the line with a smooth, centered quality. That contrast is exactly why their harmonies work. A vocal group does not need every singer to sound identical. Different voices can become recognizable parts of the same musical identity. For Jungkook though, the most revealing moments may be the ones where the safety net gets thinner, when backing vocals fade, when the arrangement becomes sparse, or when an ad-lib is left exposed. You can hear how much of the performance is actually coming from the singer. This is the same reason moments like his live arrow-rung performances are so compelling. The less the production tells your ear what to feel, the more you notice his breath, pitch, phrasing, and instinct in real time. So if you hear a high note and wonder, was that Jin or Jungkook? Listen beyond the note itself. With Jin, listen for that bright, emotionally charged color, the recognizable vibrato, and the way his voice can open dramatically. With Jungkook, listen for the smooth transitions, controlled phrasing, clean pitch, and the tiny vocal details that make the performance feel effortless. Once you start listening this way, the two voices become easier to separate and much more interesting to appreciate. In the end, this is not really a story about Jin versus Jungkook. It is a story about why BTS can sound like BTS. Jin brings a vocal color that can cut through a song with emotion and character. Jungkook brings a remarkably adaptable voice that can move from intimate softness to powerful live singing while keeping the line controlled. The more closely you listen to Jungkook live, the more details you discover beneath that effortless sound, especially when the arrangement gets quiet.